So I figured I was. I'm not sure, I was in a good spot.
They have no, yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Northridgeville City Council meeting is now in session. Today is Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023. Please rise for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance. Father, as we gather together for the first time in this new year, we ask you that you grant us a renewed sense of responsibility in carrying out the duties we were elected to perform. We ask that you grant us the wisdom, courage, and discernment we need to make the best decisions possible for Northridgeville today and throughout the coming year. As always, we ask this in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please call the roll.
Swing.
Here.
Moose here. Higgins here. Winkle here. Haywick.
Here.
DeVries here. Jacobs
Here.
Mayor
Here.
City Search Director here. Law Director
Here.
Engineer
Here.
Auditor
Here.
Clerk Council here.
Thank you. Tonight, under the approval of minutes, we have the city council meeting minutes dated December 19th, 2022. Are there any changes or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as submitted. Please also note that council has received the planning commission meeting minutes dated December 13th, 2022, and the Board of Zoning and Building Appeals meeting minute dated December 22nd, 2022. Next up is our lobby session. In a moment, we will open the lobby to allow an opportunity for the audience to address council and the city administration. We do ask that you please speak from the podium and begin by stating your name and address, and then you will be allowed up to 3 minutes to speak. So at this time, the lobby session is open. I do have one written submission. Tim Nakoff, if you could please again state your name and address for the record, and your 3 minutes will begin.
My name is Kimberly Nakoff. I'm at 37445 Tail Feather Drive, North Ridgeville, Ohio. I am here today to talk about low-speed vehicles, also known as neighborhood electric vehicles. You'll know them most likely as golf carts, but these are vehicles that are much larger. They have all the safety features of a car, and they are street legal and can be plated and carry insurance. We would like to get these an ordinance for these put into North Ridgeville so that they can be driven on the streets throughout North Ridgeville. And I believe that they should be kept on streets that are 25 miles per hour and under. That way it doesn't cause any traffic issues by having them on streets that are 35 miles per hour, like Ohio state law states that they can be on 35 mile per hour roads or under. And I believe we should keep them on 25 mile per hour roads and under. These vehicles, they are the #1 up and coming mode of transportation in America right now. They are very quick. They're green. A lot of them are green vehicles. They run on batteries, not gas. And they can get you, through the park system. They're allowed throughout the parks, the parkways throughout Lorain County. They are currently allowed in Sheffield Village. And then they're also great, of course, inside of developments when you're going from your home up to, like the pool house and things like that. It keeps the community talking to each other, and they're really great vehicles to get around. So I'd like to get these on the board and keep them, on the 25 mile an hour road so we don't have any issues, and get ahead of this right now so that when other people bring this issue up, we don't have, like I said, the cars driving down the 35 mile an hour roads blocking up all the traffic that we just got cleared up with the new Center Ridge Road. So that's what I'd like to do. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for being here and for the information. Do we have anybody else this evening who would like to address council? Certainly. Again, if you could begin by stating your name and address.
Good evening, I'm Gary Chapchinsky, 33699 Browning Drive, beautiful North Ridgeville, Ohio. All I want to say is I'm a advocate of roundabouts. I know it's always been an interesting discussion about it, but I'm an advocate about it. What I would like to do is figure out how to teach people how to use directionals when navigate. That's all I have to say. Thank you and enjoy your day.
Thank you very much. Do we have anybody else this evening who would like to address council or administration, sir? Again, a reminder, if you would please start by stating your name and address. 3 minutes will be.
Thomas Feaser, 5800 McKinley, North Ridgeville. I've been kind of a guy who's made a little bit of a mess on the property, and the city's been kind of after me on it. I've got some old cars I fixed. And in the last probably 8 months, I'm getting a lot of city officials walking down the road saying that my property is, they keep screaming. The first words are, the mayor wants you in court. The mayor wants you in court. That's all they kept screaming all summer. Clean up your property. The mayor wants you in court. So today, after 6 months of dealing with Mr. Armbruster, I was just asking, now I showed Mr. Armbruster 20 feet of my driveway that was cut by the city with a cutting saw. When they after they finished the road, finally, after 20 years, I was waiting for it, but finally they did the road. Then they cut the driveway after it because they built the road too high. So they cut 20 feet of it, and Mr. Armbruster said, why don't you just go get a lawyer and sue us? So after he said that today, I decided that he is running around my property every week or two, telling me how much of a trash house I have. And it used to be an 800 square foot house. Now it's a 5,000 square foot house. It used to be a really trashy road. And after 20 years of having it, you guys finally decided to turn the gravel road into a paved road. So when I start hearing all this stuff about the mayor wants you in court, and we're going to throw you in court, and your backyard has too many cars, and you're just a big slobbish mess, and blah, blah, blah. And I've never been bothered up until this point. I just want people to know that, like, my thought on it is, I've got this house on McKinley in the woods, and then I look down the road like 1 football field away from here, and I see like a broken down BP. I see a bunch of really ugly buildings all the way throughout all our main streets. And I wonder, why would you bother a guy that turned a tiny home into a big, beautiful place, pays 10 times the amount of property taxes, does everything that he can to make it better, and then you're going to leave the rest of the city looking like garbage? My suggestion is maybe look at some of the actual ugliness of the city, like where people actually drive by, instead of going down a street called McKinley that nobody even knows exists, and maybe 10 cars go down a day. And that's really about it. I just hope that maybe someday you guys can concentrate on the actual city. And as Mr. Armbruster kept saying to me the last couple of months, why don't you make your house look like your house was in Avon? And I told him, I don't live in Avon because I don't want to live in Avon. I live in North Ridgeville because I like North Ridgeville. So for Mr. Armbruster or anybody else to tell me that I'm supposed to make my property like it is a different city, that's a put down for the city. And it's starting to make me wonder if the mayor or Mr. Armbruster really understands that this city is a great city just because of the people, not so much because we have a good, clean yard to compare with Avon. So I would just hope that at some point, some of you city council people could maybe talk to some of the mayor or Mr. Armbruster and try to get people's heads on straight that a guy in the middle of the woods that turns a piece of junk home into a mansion and pays his property taxes and does his stuff should not be harassed about some stupid cars in the woods or behind his house that he's trying to get rid of, that you just decided you're going to get me on after 20 years, and concentrate on the ugliness of some of the actual things that the people from Avon and from Westlake and from Elyria that drive through every day and see these dilapidated buildings that aren't even that haven't had anybody in them in 6, 7, 8 years and do something about it. Put an ordinance out there. You can't leave a condemned building just wide open on our main city corner. Tell them you got to buy it for 60% of the value, or do something to try to take away the ugliness of this town. And maybe people
Mr.
would.
Teacher, I apologize.
And maybe people actually want to be.
2 minutes have left.
I figured that.
Thank you. Do you have anybody else this evening who would like to address council? Anybody else? So at this point, the lobby session will be closed. We will move on to administrative reports. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under first readings tonight, I'll be asking for the emergency on T1, which is an agreement with URS for professional engineering services for the French Creek Interceptor sewer inspection, manhole inspection, and condition assessment not to exceed 170,000 by increasing the amount not to exceed 258,000. There is a stretch along Abbey Road of Interceptor that there is some concerns about the condition of it. It has been added to this project that is covered by this ordinance previously. We're looking to get that work done in order to address those conditions in that area. And that's why we're looking to move this forward as quickly as possible. At this point, I will make a motion to suspend the bylaws, place on first readings T2 that you have in front of you, which is an ordinance amending appropriations. And I will explain after the vote.
Second.
It's moved by the mayor and seconded by Booth to suspend the bylaws and add T2 to tonight's agenda. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swink,
Yes.
Booth. Yes. Havens. Yes. Winkle. Yes. Haley.
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
I'll explain later after when it comes up under first readings. On January 9th, which is next Monday, it is the Chamber of Commerce having an event that is called the State of North Ridgeville. That is an opportunity for you to hear from both the superintendent and I about the events going on in the city and the schools. It is an annual event. It is a lunch event. They do charge for that, and it is $25 per person. If you're interested in attending, you can call the Chamber's office at 440-327-3737 to see if there are any tickets remaining for that event. We have a steering plan, master plan steering committee meeting on January 11th. That is going to take place at 6 p.m. at the Academic Center Community Room. These meetings are open to the public. As you know, we've started the master plan process. We've had one meeting already, and this is meeting number 2. So if you're interested in taking part in that public event, please stop by the Academic Center. City Hall offices will be closed on January 16th in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. That will push our next council meeting back to Tuesday, January 17th, and we will be in the police station training room for that event. Council chambers will be going through some renovations and won't be available until March or so. At this point, Mr. President, I move to go into executive session to discuss the hiring of public employees.
Second.
It's moved by the mayor and seconded by Swank to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing hiring public employees. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swink.
Yep.
Booth. Yes. Havens. Yes. Winkle. Yes. Haley.
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes, the motion. We will adjourn into executive session.
I know, it was long.
Thank you for your patience, everybody. The city council meeting is now back in session and we will continue with the mayor's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this point, I am going to make two appointments and I will go in order of how close they're sitting next to me. At this point, I would like to appoint Christina Evanson to city engineer. And I am asking for your approval for that. And so I make that motion.
Second.
Motion was made by the mayor and seconded by DeVries to appoint Christina Evanson to the position of chief engineer. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, say no. Congratulations.
All right, and then second, I would move to appoint April Wilkerson to the Director of Finance position.
It was moved by the mayor and seconded by Booth to appoint April Wilkerson to the position of Director of Finance. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, say no.
I'd like to just point out that both of these ladies do a remarkable job in the positions that they have been in, and I'm excited to work with them in their new capacities. And I'm sure they will continue their excellent work as we move forward.
Very good. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and that concludes my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Safety Service Director.
Mr. President, I'd also like to congratulate Christina and April. They've been a lot of fun to work with me. I know that they sometimes wonder that I'm crazy, but as other people do, but we do have a lot of fun, enjoy working together, and I'll enjoy working with them in the future. I'd like to add just a little comment with regards to the French Creek Sewer. And one of the reasons why we actually increased the amount of money to check that Abbey Road sewer is there's the newest technology out there that we're using. It's a sled that actually records the diameter and the thickness of the pipe itself. And it does, and actually, it's really going to be cool. We're going to be able to see this. It's kind of like a rotating, it's a sled that goes through there. It's the latest technology in the United States for large size pipes. We're going to get a lot of knowledge out of that and know just exactly where we are in the thickness of that pipe and how long of life we're going to have in it. So it's well worth the money that we're spending to get the information that we're going to get from this new technology. We had to wait, I think, 6, 8 months, 9 months in order to see if we could even get the device coming to Cleveland, Ohio, to North Ridgeville or Sheffield Village. To put it down there, and I know April had a little bit of a conversation. What are you doing? Why do you want to do this now? And I said, well, we waited this long for this equipment, so we got through it, and it's going to be really a unique thing. And that completes my report.
Thank you. This engineer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Engineering has been very busy wrapping up some loose ends on projects that were completed last year, as well as finalizing some required end of year metrics reporting. We are also currently assisting in the construction administration of the new police department, ensuring that the site utilities are being installed to the city's specifications. Aside from that, I just want to say a quick thank you to the administration and council for your support, and I look forward to serving the community in this new endeavor. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Great, thank you. And Ms. Director of Finance.
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to remind council that the November 2022 financial report will be forwarded to you this week. The December report will be forwarded to you as well. However, that will be a preliminary report until the audit is completed, and then you will get a final December 2022 financial report. I also would like to thank council and the administration for the appointment. It's been a pleasure serving this community for the last 6 years and working with each and every one of you. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to continue that, and look forward to continuing our relationship. Thank you.
You. There are no other reports. That brings us to recess.
Mr. President, move to dispense with recess.
Second.
It's moved by Winkle and seconded by DeVries to dispense with recess. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, say no. All right, we will move on to first readings. And up first for the new year, we have T1.
T1-2023, ordinance amending ordinance number 5939-2022, which approved the mayor to enter into an agreement with the URS Corporation for professional engineering services for the French Creek Interceptor Sewer Inspection, Manhole Inspection and Condition Assessment for 2022, not to exceed $170,000 by increasing the amount to not to exceed $258,000. Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
make a motion to dispense with the second and third readings. Second.
Motion was made by Booth and seconded by Winkle to dispense with the second and third readings for T1. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no.
Mr. President, make a motion to adopt. Second. Mr. President, make a motion to add the emergency for the reasons given earlier by the mayor. Second.
It was moved by Booth and seconded by Winkle to add the emergency clause to T1 for the reasons stated earlier in the meeting by the mayor. On that emergency clause alone, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. It was then moved by Booth and seconded by Winkle to adopt T1 with that emergency clause in place. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swink.
Yes.
Booth. Yes. Avens. Yes. Winkle. Yes. Awig.
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously and becomes ordinance number 6032-2023.
T2.
T2-2023, ordinance amending ordinance number 6031-2022 of the city of North Bluefield, Ohio, providing appropriations for the period commencing January 1st, 2023 and ending December 31st, 2023. Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
move to dispense with the second and third readings.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor, seconded by DeVries to dispense with the second and third readings for T2. Are there any comments?
Mr. President, you shall remember that in November, we went through the budget appropriations process and we put together the budgets for both of these departments individually, not knowing the results of the election at the time. Now that the charter provision has passed, merging those departments, all we're doing is we're taking the budgets of those individual departments and combining them into the Department of Finance. So it's net zero. It's the same amount of money that you appropriated for each individual department, just combined into the one.
Are there any additional comments or questions? All right, so again, it was moved by the mayor and seconded by DeVries to dispense with the second and third readings for T2. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. DeVries.
motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, motion to add the emergency clause for the reasons stated by the mayor.
Second.
It was moved by DeVries and seconded by Booth to add the emergency clause to T2 for the reasons stated by the mayor. On the emergency clause alone, all in favor say yes. All opposed say no. It was then moved by DeVries and seconded by Booth to adopt T2 with the emergency clause in place. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swing.
Yes.
Booth. Yes. Avens. Yes. Winkle. Yes. Awig.
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously and becomes ordinance number 6033-2023.
There are no second readings on tonight's agenda. We do have one third reading, T166.
T166-2022, an ordinance creating a new chapter 213, disposal of municipal real property of the North Bridgeville codified ordinances.
President,
Yes, Mrs. Swin.
move to adopt.
Second.
Moved by Swank and seconded by Avens to adopt T166. At this time, are there any comments or questions?
Is this time sensitive by any chance? No, this can wait.
Mr. President, I'd also like to note that it says second readings up there, but it's on third readings in our
Oh.
on base.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we have the title of third readings here in a minute. But yes, you're correct. It should be third readings. Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Swink,
Yes.
Booth? Yes. Stevens? Yes. Winkle? Yes. Haley?
Yes.
DeBree?
Yes.
Jacob?
Yeah.
Motion carries unanimously, becomes ordinance number 6034-22.
Right, as for meeting announcements, as stated earlier by the mayor, there will be some renovations to city council chambers that will begin later this week. So our next few meetings will actually be held in an alternate location. And as also stated by the mayor, that alternate location is the police department training room over at the police department. To take note of that, and if you intend to attend the meeting, make sure you're in the right place. There will be a utilities committee meeting to discuss T-175-2022 on Tuesday, January 17th, 2023 at 6:15 p.m. in the police department training room. Attendees should enter through the main entrance of the police station. Our next regular council meeting will be held Tuesday, January 17th, 2023 at 7 p.m. also in the police department training room. Again, attendees will enter through the main entrance of the police department. And that meeting will be held on Tuesday as opposed to our normal Monday because of the observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday. Do any of the council members have any final comments or questions this evening for the administration? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.